morning, it's day 6 here. We are presently getting ready to load the bus to head back to our community. So today we're going to test out the car more. We're doing a couple more interviews, and FAI will be joining us today, so we're excited to hopefully get more of the road cleared.
Hello guys, it is our second day of interviews and we wanted to give an update on what we plan to do today. So first we want to get a little technical information out of the way and ask, what do you plan to change about your tile making process in regards to our new car edition? Then we want to take a new step or a new direction and go into more personal narratives with the community. So we hope to talk to all the community members today just for 20 to 30 minutes and ask them more personal questions that will help us get to know a little more about them.
Go hit the trail, do some more testing. We think we fixed the bugs with the electrical components.
We're gonna measure exactly how much power it takes to go up and down the trail using this readout. And so we're gonna video the current and power draw and pair that up with elevation data. We're like what David is helping me with right now. Oh, like. Yeah.
So you're just saying they just need to level this path out?
I'm happy with the casters, as far as like they don't have anything to hit and break them. Like, agreed. That's good. I got it. Well, we just finished downhill, and our data readout said that it took about 11 watt hours, which at 24 volts is about half an amp hour. So it's not much energy. Most of it was just us braking downhill, which is good. The downside is that it was pretty difficult to steer because the trail is like really cambered, and with our caster wheels in the front and all the weight, it just wants to kind of go off the trail. So we found it really useful to have at least a person in the front guiding it, which I think really helps with that, just because it helps stabilize the cart. But we also are hoping to fix the problem by the business group and our own work to level out the ground and make sure that the cart's not gonna try and run off.
We expect it to be a lot easier on the way up, so we can talk about it again then, just because we're going to have the drive wheels are going to be on the downslope, so they're going to be taking the brunt of the weight rather than the caster wheels that we can't really direct. They just go with the slope. You're not losing traction much though, that's good.
Yeah.
Or less.
I'm glad that you feel in control. It does inspire some confidence. Oh, it is a lot easier to drive.
Right. So we just got up the hill with all of these rocks. The cart did pretty well. We had a lot more control on the way up, and the caster wheels didn't have quite as much of an issue, but we are still a little concerned about the camber of the track, of the trail.
So yeah, we'll definitely plan to fix that.
Yeah, actually we have the food agri group working on it right now.
We did have one small issue though. Stop. Which is that this readout is only rated for
20 amps.
And so unfortunately it melted a little bit in the back because at times we're pulling more than 20 amps.
So we had to yank it out about, let's see, a third of the way up, which was okay because that was the steepest incline in the area we wanted to measure the most.
Yeah, but because we're pulling more current than we expected, so we're glad that we bought the bigger batteries.
Yeah, definitely. It turns out it was actually going up to, what was that, 600, 700 watts. Those steep slopes in the beginning really pulled a lot of power.
Yeah, really the only...
Someone go get it.
It's already going up.
Yeah, you can tell. 10 amps.
There we go.
It would go higher, but this will only allow it for 10 amps. So that's pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Go. So cute.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Does anyone want to go like that?
Oh.
That's how it's going.
So, right now it's in the off position, but this button, if you press on, the big button, the lights will turn on and then the cart will be able to move. So when there's 3 C's, that means it's at its maximum charge.
When you're not doing anything and it's just still like this, if it's at 2, that's when you want to stop.
Wow, this
Are perfect.
yeah. This thing will
You'll see our shovels left where we think it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So testing day went pretty well. We had some of the students from the business group testing our cart so that we could, learn the best practices for teaching how to use the cart without a language barrier before we actually get in and teach the community.
The hobble swabble.
Oh my god. Awesome. That's African dance.
So this is the Shane today's dance move of the day.
So today was very impressive because I like our last interviewee. She's young and she's really smart, and like we got to learn so much from her, and she was so exciting. Yeah.
So it was amazing just to see the ingenuity and like the critical thinking that not just she but the other community members possess too, and all their different skills and talents that they have to offer to the co-op.
You brought them. Remember how we tell you? Which made us stop them from having shorts.
I get that.
And then after digging it up, they wet the clay, stir up with a hoe, and then they wedge the clay. And that takes about 2 hours, and they kind of, but on demand, like whenever they do have intense demand from their customers, they'll do up to 7 days a week of just carrying up all the clay from the bottom of trees. Yeah.
That was actually 200, so that was a day's worth of.
So we probably brought up around 100 today just with 2 loads of the cart.
It was important, but to just be a little less careful. So if there's a mistake made, that we were there and it's not later on down the road when people who are not as experienced using the cart make that mistake.